So I wanted to ask you this, because we're going into holiday meat seasons. So we got Thanksgiving and, of course, the ramp up to Christmas, which is more, it varies. Like if it's an Italian thing or a Mediterranean, like Greek or something like that, they do a lot of the seven fishes, that kind of deal, a lot of seafood stuff.
Yeah.
Some people just do the same meal that they would do for Thanksgiving. They'd have turkey and all of that stuff. Ham is the more centerpiece of Christmas, a Christmas ham kind of for the
Christmas
meal.
Ham, Christmas goose, and New Year's is big ham.
Right. But also, and it's what I've done for the last several years, is prime rib. Right. So I'll order a prime rib ahead of time, and then I'll get up early and get that thing going and cooking all day. So when that comes out, it's so, it's almost teetering into the medium rare territory. It's juicy. You got the horseradish sauce. You got everything going with it and a bunch of sides. So I want to ask you this: working in a shop where I would rather just go and get it freshly cut, freshly whatever, but because it's the holiday season, and I know a lot of people have this stuff, you get the catalogs for meat companies.
Yeah.
And Omaha Steaks being, I think, the most famous out of all of them. But then in recent years, you had Butcher Box, which was advertising, I think was here for a little bit. And then other podcasts, radio shows, it's a subscription meat service. And then you get other catalogs that are sort of, I don't want to say knockoffs, but they're doing similar things. And
There's so many of them.
I got one in the mail the other day called the Kansas City Steak Company. I've never ordered from this place before. I don't know of it. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so somehow I got on a mailing list.
Well, I'm going to Google it while you're talking.
And it's just like everything else. You go through there and you can buy holiday packages, family packages, where you can get like a whole assortment of put it right there, all different assortments of cuts of meat. And if you order some other stuff here, they'll give you twice baked potatoes or scallops or some kind of bean salad, and they'll throw in extra hamburgers and hot dogs, depending on how much you buy and what promotion you use. Or like they got the bacon wrap fillets right there. They have all the stuff.
So yeah, and like it's just so weird to look at this stuff like on a website after like looking at all of it.
Right. But it seems very expensive to buy it through these catalog companies.
I mean, let me see.
Here.
Choose size and count. 10 ounces? Like how many?
Here, prime rib roast, right? 3.5 to 4 pounds, serves 6 to 8 people. And they're saying that it will cost you, let's see, you can get original, garlic and herb, or traditional, which I don't know what's the difference between traditional and original. But $125. Does that seem expensive?
Wait, sorry. What was that for?
A prime rib roast, 3.5 to 4 pounds, serves 6 to 8 people, $125.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
So, our prime rib is about $32 a pound, depending on it. So times 4, that's $112 plus shipping. Yeah, that's about right. So if you're what I'm laughing at here at the Kansas City Steak Company website is they have under their specialty cuts, they have bone-in filet mignon, which all that is
a scam.
No, it's not a scam. All it is it's the other half of the T-bone. So when you get a T-bone, it's a New York strip and then tenderloin on the other side.
All they're doing, the bone, yeah,
they're just cutting. They're being lazy. They're cutting it through the bone, selling a bone-in filet mignon because they're probably selling boneless New York strips for more money than bone-in New York strips.
In your opinion, are they worth the money? Because look here, if you're telling me that some of these meat prices are right on, that's fine. But you get killed in the fees. You get killed in the shipping. And because they put them in those big styrofoam coolers,
with the dry ice
and whatever, and you're like, oh, you put all this together with their discounts and their first time buyer stuff, and everything, like, oh, cool, I got all this stuff for just under $200, and then you go to do the shipping and everything, and now you're over $250, and it's like, what the fuck happened here? Oh, it's because shipping and everything else they got to put in there is where they're making a ton of money off of it.
Here's what I'll say.
Right.
If you're going to spend the money to order from like Omaha Steaks or like one of these subscription meat services, just save it and go to your local butcher shop. You'll be supporting a local business. Right. The food will be way fresher. You'll probably know where they got the animals from, like what farms and real expert opinions, that's what matters. A lot of these steak companies that are out there, like, they could be fronted by a gigantic beef thing for all we know, and it's just they're just slapping different stickers on it, like, right. I don't know too much about those places. Looking at the prices online and what you're getting for it, it seems comparable, but I don't know what the quality is like. So if the quality is lower, then it's more expensive, obviously, and I don't think the quality is going to be higher than what I get right now,
right?
Just based on the looks from the pictures, but it all depends. You're getting a gift for someone who lives someplace where it's hard for them to get good steaks. Maybe it's a good option. Yeah. I would say, if someone's rural, maybe send so. But if someone's rural, they might have a farm near them where they can actually get really good
better steaks. Yeah,
exactly.
Like those roadside pie stands and some of those
that shit's so
farmers
good.
markets.
It's all butter, salt, and sugar and fat.
Like in The Simpsons, great. When Mr. Burns went into the steak place and they had the cattle prod, and it's like, you pick your steak. And he's like, I like that one. And they go, and he goes, nah, he looks a little gamey. Let me go try that. And he's just killing different cows right in front of him. That's the that's when you know the quality of your steak place.
We have like a temp butcher in our shop right now who's like helping out because someone got injured.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the other places that he worked at out of New York State. And he's like, you'd be surprised at like how good the butcher shops here are at sourcing their meats in New York City than they are other farms.
Right.
And he was saying, he's like, I worked in, Western Massachusetts at a butcher shop, and the animals would come in and they would have bruise marks and they like beaten marks, like they were just like abused and shit, and like I don't see any of that stuff in the city. Like, you guys go to like real farms
where the jockey is whipping it.
Yeah, honestly, that's what that is. But I'm glad I don't have to see horrible shit like that, because that would feel really bad if we were bringing pigs in that are already dead that got beaten. Like, ugh, that'd be awful.
Yeah, you don't want to see how the sausage is made, where the term comes from.
No, they say that because back in the day, sausages weren't made that well. They were throwing a lot of scraps in there. Nowadays, sausage is pretty good. If you don't want to see how the sausage is made, then like it's just pork ground up with spices shoved in a tube. Like there's
pig
really
knuckle.
No, that's not true. It's a pig intestine, Eric.